literally like 5 people come out hysterically crying, not sobbing, hysterically crying. And then I'm just thinking to myself, what did I get myself into? What did I get myself into? Because I can't go home. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm doing a Get Ready With Me as I talk about my experience at Paris Fashion Week. And today I'm going for a natural little glam, so I'm not using foundation. I'm going to use, well, I guess it's kind of foundation. Is it? It's a skin tint by Givenchy. I haven't used it in forever, so I don't know how it is. I feel like we all have that one place that we're like really excited to go visit. That place for me was Paris. I had never been at this point. I was super excited to go and visit. And not only was I visiting, I was literally walking in Paris Fashion Week. So it was just like amazing, like such a great feeling. I was so excited to be in the city that I was so wanting to go to for so long. I get on the plane. There's about 20 models on the plane. So the feeling, like, it was really setting in. I was like, oh my gosh, like we're all going to Paris Fashion Week, which is absolutely insane. So I land, I'm very excited at this point. I took a red eye from New York, so it took about 7 hours. I landed in Paris. I had a casting the very next day and rehearsals because I was going to cast for another show, but I had already booked a show. So I went to castings, and then while I walk in, 5 girls come out that casting hysterically crying, and I overhear them talk about how mean the designer is. Like, he is just being absolutely atrocious, like talking about the girls' bodies in the most horrible way ever. And I was like, oh gosh, because, well, I thought New York was harsh. No. Paris, in the fashion world, is literally a whole nother ball game of harsh. Like, okay, so not only don't fit the typical model standards, I like have curves, and not only do I not fit that standard, which is so crazy to me, but I'm 4'11". So that's just, I'm just the worst target. So I'm obviously nervous because I'm like, well, they're gonna be really mean to me. And all the other girls there were probably literally 5'10" to 6 foot. I kid you not. They were all very tall. So not only was I just like the shortest person, I was the shortest person by a foot. A whole foot. Someone was even 6'1", so yeah. You do the math. I don't know how the hell I got through that casting. I did. They weren't too mean to me. Now I'm going to the rehearsals, and I go to the rehearsal and I am exhausted, but also it's like adrenaline, I feel like, because I was so excited. So I go to rehearsals and everything was great. The venue was absolutely beautiful. It was so stunning. They were setting everything up. It was all coming together. I was like, wow, this is the biggest show I've ever done. The biggest show I've ever done. It was insanely beautiful. There was so much production that went into it. So I leave rehearsals feeling amazing, feeling great and excited. And also Paris, aside from Fashion Week, absolutely beautiful. I had such a great time. And so I leave the casting to go get McDonald's in a great Marissa fashion, as I do. I get McDonald's after every single show. Now, no, I didn't walk yet, but I just wanted to treat myself. I wanted to treat myself to a good little McChicken, as I do. So I get chicken. Should I have stayed like everyone else a little bit longer? Because everyone else was kind of like just talking, but I was exhausted. I was like, I need to go when I was able to. Well, everyone else that stayed ended up seeing Gigi Hadid. She was walking out of her rehearsals as well. So yeah, that was really great. I missed her. That would have been really cool to be able to see her. If you don't know, Fashion Week is so fast-paced. It's exhausting. You are absolutely tired. Sometimes you have flown from one Fashion Week to the next, depending on if you book shows back to back. And so it's just really overall tiring. So the very next day I had the show. I had one of my shows and I actually opened it, which was absolutely insane. There were some crazy PR people there. I'll get into that in a little bit. But I was just like, oh my gosh, opening room. Then I have my next show. I had booked another show. I was going to open this one as well. 2 shows. I was supposed to open 2 shows. Now I'm like, okay, this is a huge opportunity for me to get petite models out there, because there is PR people such as Vogue, American Magazine, Elle Magazine, and a bunch of other insane PR people where we're in the audience watching the show. And I'm just wanted to take this opportunity and run with it, sprint, as you will, sprint. I wanted to run with it because I knew that this was such a big opportunity for petite models, because I was literally the only remotely short person. Well, I'm not remotely short, I am short, but I was the only short person there. And I knew that I would stand out because of my height. So I'm in the lineup, getting ready to walk. I'm, my nerves have set in, but also I don't know, it's a weird thing because I used to like kind of black out when I was walking, like I don't even remember it happening, but now I just absolutely love runway, so I don't really get like nervous, I'm more so excited. So the way that the runway was, so let's say I'm here, the runway was right here, and then there was someone here that was timing everything and like waving us on. So it was time for me to go, and all of a sudden this is all I see. This woman has been standing next to me this whole time, mind you. Line up for probably around 15-20 minutes to make sure that we're all in the right place, making sure that all the garments that we were wearing were the right garments, that we had them on right and all that stuff. Getting some last minute touch-ups on our makeup and just fixing hair, just overall just fixing some things. So we're in the lineup for a little bit. And this woman, I just look over and she's like this. Y'all know that's not a good look, right? We know when you do that. Okay, so I know she's gonna say something to me, I just feel it. She goes, "You're not walking." I go, well, yes I am, what do you mean? She goes, "Not with a body like that, you're not." I tell you, I have never been more speechless in my life. Like, what do you even say? What do you even say to that? I was just so taken back. I was so shocked that someone had said that to me. Obviously, my height has been a huge issue in this industry with a lot of people, but it's always been more focused towards my height. Like, people have always just really been mean to me about my height, but this woman literally said, "Not with a body like yours." And so she was like, "Yeah, you're not walking, get out the lineup right now." And I'm just like, well, I am. And then at this point, the person that's over here, like I mentioned, is like flagging me to go, and this woman's not letting me walk. Now the designer sees that I'm supposed to be going, and he comes over because now he's confused because he was in the back of the line fixing some stuff, and he comes up to me, he's like, "Marce, what are you doing? You need to go." And I'm like, she's not letting me go. This woman is not letting me walk. And she's like, "Well, maybe if you had a body like hers," and she points to this other model, she goes, "Yes, then you can walk, but with yours, you're not walking." Oh my gosh, I was literally just, and the designer was like, "Well, no, I want her to walk. Like, she's opening my show, I want her to go." Now they're getting into an argument, and then the woman tries to say, "Well, you're not 18. And I go, "Well, yes, I am," because I had just turned 18. She's like, "Well, you need to prove it to me. Where's your ID?" Let me just pull it. Like, why would I have my ID on me at this very moment? She was basically just making excuses so I couldn't walk, because obviously, why would I be holding my ID? Like, where am I supposed to put it? So obviously I didn't have my ID, so she's like, "Well, you're not walking." And I was just like, at this point of being belittled in front of everyone was just so embarrassing. And then obviously everyone was listening, because she was at this point was then like starting to get loud with me. I can't hide how I'm feeling. And so my face was obviously just like, I don't know, when you're just being belittled in front of a bunch of people, it's just really awkward. And so that's really what I was feeling like. And she's like, "You know what?" This is when she starts getting really mad. She's like, "You know what? Get backstage. I don't want anyone to see you," which is really weird, because first off, I had been through castings, I had been through rehearsals, and you're gonna do this right now. So now everyone that's like outside, like the guests, they're very obviously waiting because they know that the show is supposed to be kind of smooth and run through, and now there's a big huge pause. So obviously this whole situation was interrupting. But anyway, the woman said that she didn't want anyone to see me, she didn't want anyone to photograph me, she didn't want me to be posted, want anyone to know that I was there, basically. So, which is funny because I had been getting my hair and makeup done, that rehearsals were, there was photographers all there shooting everything, and so people very much had taken photos of me by that point. Just the fact that she was doing this all right now made absolutely no sense to me, but whatever. So then at this point, yes, I'm crying. I cried, yes. I was very embarrassed that I cried, but you know what? Getting belittled like that, it affected me, and also I've never been spoken to like that before, and especially not in front of other people, and it was really, really, really embarrassing for me. And so yeah, I shed a little tear, okay? I shed a little tear. I walked myself backstage because then I don't want anyone to see me, and I actually didn't want to get photographed crying. So I walked myself backstage, and then this other model, we had about had it, I think, at this point, because this whole time during Paris Fashion Week, everyone was getting belittled so badly, so bad. It's not even funny. This one girl stuck up for me, and then this other woman, I was like one of the younger ones there. This woman was just like, come here. She gave me a big hug, and she was really, really amazing. She was like, don't let anyone ever speak to you like that. Like, don't listen to them, blah, 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 all this stuff, which I really didn't need at that point because I was a little baby in this industry and I didn't know as much as I know now. So that was really, really sweet of her. So I didn't end up walking because of that woman, but I had walked in the show before, and what had happened was Vogue was there, and I know that they didn't see me from this particular show, obviously, because I didn't get to walk, so they saw me in my show prior. But Vogue was in the audience, and Vogue did reach out to me to do an interview about my height and being in this industry. I've never spoken about this before because it's honestly so mind-blowing to me, because that would have been such an amazing opportunity for petite models, and I could not believe that they wanted to do an interview with me. I was over the moon, but I wanted to stay relaxed because you never know what's going to happen in this industry, and I don't ever say anything until it happens. And so I didn't say anything to anyone because I didn't want to like jinx myself or like get my hopes up, which my hopes did get broken. But anyway, I was supposed to have an interview with Vogue, which was so insane. Until this day, I'm still really mad about it because that would have been so amazing for petite models and anyone who's short. Because honestly, is there really a lot of petite models in this industry? Absolutely not. Not enough. Not nearly enough. We just need to be represented. And so that was a moment that I felt like we were going to change something. It's really upsetting that it didn't happen, but I know it'll happen in the future. I know it will happen in the future, and I know petite models will be in this industry because we deserve to be in it too. We all deserve to be represented in this industry because at the end of the day, it makes absolutely no sense that they're only catering to tall people when a majority of the world is short. Look it up, look up the statistics. The majority of the world is short, so it makes no sense why we're not represented as well. And people are going to say, well, there are petite models, but there's not enough. There's not nearly enough. And it's unfair that your height can determine if you can work in this industry or not. So that was my Paris Fashion Week story. Not nearly as glorious or glamorous as I would have hoped that it would have been. But again, I like to tell the truth about the industry and kind of some of the things that have happened to me because it is the real honest truth, and it's not all glamour, it's all not this beautiful, it's not all like that. So that is just a prime example of some of the bad parts of the industry. This is to not make you not want to be in the industry by any means. This is just obviously my story. I have an amazing time otherwise in Paris, yes. Did I do Paris Fashion Week the next season? Yes. So this is just an example of you can't let people stop you. Did I have a not great experience? Absolutely. It was not what I hoped for at all, but that is the industry. You don't know kind of what's going to happen, but you can't let that stop you from achieving your dreams. And if it's something that you want, you can't let people tell you things like that, and you cannot take it to heart, which I did obviously take it to heart in the moment, but now I look back and I'm like, you just can't let people do that to you. The industry, unfortunately, it is like this sometimes, but you just have to not let anyone make you feel a certain way because you know who you are and you know how amazing you are. If you want to get in this industry, just know that there are so many people that are like that, unfortunately, that are mean and rude. You cannot let them win. You honestly cannot take it to heart at all. Like, sometimes people forget that we're humans and we have emotions. Basically, the story time is to not deter you from following your dreams, but only to show you that the industry is not all glamorous as you may think that it is, or it's not like that for everyone, and not everyone has the same experiences. So just so you know, you will be dealing with some people that are like that in this industry, but you will also be dealing with some amazing people. So you never know where you're gonna get. That's my Paris Fashion Week story with my makeup. Please subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of the story time and if I should do more story times. They're not gonna all be bad. Obviously, I've had some really great experiences that I would love to share as well, but this is just my Paris Fashion Week story because it shed some light to the not so great sides of the industry, because again, a lot of people make it seem glamorous and it's not all glamour. So thank you so much, and see you guys in the next one.